Hello everyone, welcome to another video review. Today I'm taking a look at Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Decepticon HOTLINK from Siege, the Netflix show. Not the toy. I mean, it's the toy line, but it's also an offshoot of the regular toy line because it's based on the Netflix show that's based on the toy line. I don't know. It's actually kind of confusing a little bit. But anyway, before we take a look at the set or the figures here, let's take a look at the box. I suppose this is a set of figures, I can say that. So here we have Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy. Nice background with the Decepticon logo. You can see the plastic insert there. He is a Decepticon. His name is HOTLINK. It says Transformers along the side. It is for ages 8 and up. Of course, that's just a suggestion. I have to put that on there. This is manufactured by Hasbro. This is a authentic Transformer from the Generations line and also from Netflix, a Netflix original series, co-manufactured by Takara Tomy. Here is HOTLINK on the side, looking very knockoff Skywarp-ish. Decepticon logo. Again, on the side here, it does say Netflix original series. Man, a Netflix original series. That was my favorite Netflix show of all time. Netflix, the show. You can see how the branding there can maybe be a little confusing. Here's the side panel with a different version of the styled artwork from the regular Siege line. You know, this is an authentic Transformer. So, kind of interesting that they've done this. And so then here is the back with all the things that the toys can do, because this is a set that comes with multiple figures. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just don't eat the toy. That's, not recommended. Plastic doesn't digest well. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. That side panel kind of sticks out there because for whatever reason, I think I snipped a thing when I was getting the tape off when I was opening it up, so the side panel doesn't go back in. But it's going in the trash after this review, so like it matters. So yeah, here we have HOTLINK, another repaint of the Starscream Seeker mold. A tale as old as time when it comes to the Transformers toy lines is that if you have a Starscream, then you automatically have a Thundercracker and a Skywarp and Acid Storm and any other Decepticon you want to make. Just slap a new coat of paint on there, give it a rename, and re-release it. So yeah, this is HOTLINK. He is just kind of a generic Decepticon soldier, I guess. Apparently he was actually in the show. He got killed off in like the first episode near the beginning. I guess Prime took him out. He was that Seeker that got shot. Not that I could tell. Anyway, spoilers for the show, but Siege came out 2-3 months ago from when I'm filming this, so I mean, I think it's only like 6 episodes, so I think everyone's had plenty of time to watch it. Honestly, I thought that HOTLINK was the Decepticon that Jetfire killed when he turned in like episodes 4 or 5 or something like that. I thought that was HOTLINK, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's the reason he got a toy, is because he's the Decepticon that Jetfire kind of wounds and then lets get away when he betrays the Decepticons to join the Autobots. But then he lands and Starscream calls him Skywarp. I'm like, wait, what? And then Starscream shows up and he says, Jetfire killed Skywarp. I'm like, wait, hold on a second. You really killed off Skywarp? You killed off one of your main 3 Seekers instead of the random grunt that had a toy release? It's like, why bother? At least you gave him speaking lines. That would have justified this toy being released, but oh well. It was an interesting show to say the least. So yeah, here's HOTLINK and his 2 little Minicon partners. Hold on, let me check their names because I can't ever remember their names. Let's see here. Red visor, orangey red visor here is Heat Stroke, and then more yellow visor here is Heat Burn. Other than that, they look totally identical. So yeah, so Heat Stroke and Heat Burn. That guy's got the better name, Heat Burn. It's like that's almost, his name's a synonym, but almost. So, yeah, let's take a look here at HOTLINK in his Cybertronian jet mode. So, yeah, here is his vehicle mode. And honestly, I actually super like it. I think this is super cool. I really like it. The Tetrajet form that they've got here for Siege. When, like 2 years ago now, when the Siege line was first introduced and we got these molds for the first time, and they were unveiled and everything. I was not a fan of this mold. I did not like the way it looked, mainly because of the way the product images that looked and everything. Mainly, it was the legs here. It's like, oh, the legs just kind of fold up underneath, and I'm like, when you hold it like that, like this, yeah, it's obvious, and then when you, it's like, yeah, those are definitely the knees. But honestly, other angles though, I mean, it looks fine. It's maybe a little bulkier than I would maybe like, but when actually working with this guy and transforming him and kind of seeing the mold in action a little bit in other reviews like Starscream and Thundercracker and Skywarp and that triple pack of the Seekers that came with Acid Storm and the other two guys' names that I can never remember. I'm actually liking this mold a lot more. I think it's actually super cool. It does some cool transformation things. Is it perfect? No. I mean, again, it just kind of has the legs sticking out underneath there, but I mean, what Transformer that turns into a jet usually doesn't have its legs just sticking underneath? So I mean, it's not, so honestly, for what this is, you know, not being based on an actual vehicle, it's pretty cool. I think I really like it. It's cool. So one cool thing about this pack that comes with these 3 figures is that it does come with 2 new sort of kind of effects parts that we haven't seen sort of kind of before. Like I said, it's sort of kind of. So yeah, these are the 2 effects parts that they come with. So, you know, they can be the engines of the vehicle mode here, or they can also be the muzzle flash from these little minicons that will turn into guns, which we'll look at here in a little bit. But this is based on a pre-existing part, the kind of regular muzzle flash piece that already exists. They just kind of removed the, I don't know what to call it, you know, the larger bit here at the base, at the base of this, and they kind of trimmed that off, and then they made this. So it's not totally unique, but it is different enough that I do appreciate it being in here. So just go ahead and remove those and put them off to the side for now. So we'll do quick, I'll cover these guys' transformations here in a little bit because they're super simple, but we'll just go ahead and take a look at their robot modes here. So, as I said, totally identical minus the visor colors. So I'll move them off to the side as well. We'll get into some quick size comparisons. So here we have Siege Barricade. So HOTLINK is definitely larger considering he is a Voyager and he's also a jet, while Barricade is, you know, a police interceptor. So, but both being Decepticons, they do look good together. Is the one thing I think is really cool about the Siege line, especially, is that all their Decepticons, they don't all share the same color schemes, but a lot of the more quote-unquote generic bots that aren't named characters like Soundwave or Starscream or Megatron, yeah, a lot of them do have some sort of purple color scheme, so that way, you know, you do have this kind of uniform army look to them. So yeah, you know, HOTLINK is kind of this purple shade. Barricade has some purple on him. Grunt is purple. Shockwave, of course, is purple, but you know, that's been Shockwave's main color scheme since 1984, so that's not a surprise. But you know, some of these other lesser-known characters or kind of grunt characters, you know, these no-name characters that are given names and given the has HOTLINK existed as a character before this? I don't know. I would have to go searching for that. Like, you know, he had like one toy release in 1995 or something like that, and the name hasn't been used since. So, you know, something, you know, stuff like that, to where, you know, they're taking these characters that don't necessarily have a known identity, and they're taking the design and making it look uniform. So I do enjoy that. Is that when you look at them all on the shelf, you do go, yes, this is a Decepticon army from Cybertron. And then for an additional comparison, here we have G1 reissue Starscream. So of course, HOTLINK, his robot mode anyway, is very much based off of the original Seeker molds from the 1980s. And then here we have the original Seeker mold from the 1980s, re-released in 2018. So yeah, I do kind of find it funny that this, you know, this sort of kind of really old toy is a lot longer, is a lot bigger than the new one, but that will of course change when we get to the robot modes here in a bit. So yeah, you can see what this was based on. And of course, you know, we didn't get the Cybertronian mode Tetrajets back in G1. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the size comparisons. Now we will go ahead and get down to the transformation. So for right now, I'll be skipping over the minicons. We'll get to them in a bit. Right now, we're going to focus on HOTLINK. So we'll get his transformation started. And this is what really kind of sold me on this mold as a whole. Now I sort of kind of went Starscream, is the transformation. So first, you know, we just remove his null rays, place them down, and then we want to take the wings and bring them up. They will clip into the arms here. So I just want to untab that there, untab that there, and now we have a wing. Oh, actually first, it will be helpful if we untab this, because that kind of helps keep the wings in check. So we want to detach its back part first. I forgot about that. One thing about, this may just be a my copy thing, but this pops off very, very easily. I managed to keep it on this time, but taking it from vehicle mode to robot mode is easier. But putting it from robot to vehicle, this tends to pop off of its little tabs here. This one especially, so it'll just kind of dangle on this other one. This one's pretty secure, but this one it'll just pop off of and it'll dangle a little bit. It's easy enough to pop back on, as you see. It's fixed there and it's not a problem, but it does pop off easily, so that's kind of annoying. So now we'll just do the same thing here with this wing. Get this untabbed. They do secure into the arms very well, and then we'll just bring that up like so, and then yeah, you can kind of see how the whole robot folds up. But as you know, the wings do kind of cover a lot of that, so that is nice. So we'll go ahead and untab the arms from the legs. And there is just a tab right there that goes into that slot there, and bring up the arms. Now we can bring down the legs. When the legs fold up, there is this little panel here that will just move over, so that way when you bring it in, then the legs will collapse into themselves. And then with that done, we can flip this part up and back. It's a little dark. Let me move my light source a tiny bit. Maybe that'll help there. Got some shadows going on. And then we can take all of this and move it up on this hinge. Well, that will give us some room to move around here. We can bring down the legs, kind of straighten them out, and twist at the waist. And then we can go ahead and bring down this. And the head will come up, which will then allow this to tab in. So yeah, this is starting to look pretty familiar. So then we can untab this, maybe. There we go. It just secures into the back of the head. Bring it down like so. We can split this in half, and this is really the thing that I think is super cool, is that the nose cone then folds up like so, and then that is what makes the kind of big sticky up, I don't know what to call them, you know, the sticky uppy things on the Seekers that the G1 Seekers all have. So that's super cool. And then there is tabs back here that will go into these slots here. This is the trickiest part about the transformation, is just kind of maneuvering it and finagling it into position, because everything's on this hinge and you got to get it pressed in just right. So usually there's some grunting and okay, there we got one, there we got two, there we go. That's actually the easiest I've been able to get those in there. And then now that those are back, we can push that back. I guess that panel being up helps a little bit, and then that kind of helps secure those in place a little bit further. So now we can work on the legs. Well, the legs are pretty much done. It's the feet we need to worry about. Just flip those up. Kind of Transformers Prime stiletto-heeled Starscream type look. And then the last thing we will need to worry about is the hands. If I can just find where the... I always lose where the latch is, here we go. Come on, there we go. It does fold out. It's just a matter of finding where exactly it folds out. So then we can bring the hand out, and then this is on a double hinge here. Just want to finagle that and bring it back down, and then we can flip that up. We have an arm all done. Same thing over here, just a matter of finding where it folds out. There we are. Flip out the hand. Work that double hinge like so. Flip the hand back. And then the wings don't really clip in while they're in robot mode, so you just kind of have to flatten them out or position them back how you wish, however you want to do that. And then the last thing we will do to complete the robot mode here is take his null rays and clip them into his shoulders, or rather peg them. They don't really clip, they just peg. And then kind of get everything settled here, and then I think that's it. Here we have HOTLINK, move the light source, back in his robot mode. So yeah, here's HOTLINK. I mean, he's a seeker. He's definitely a seeker. He looks like Starscream if he got, you know, dipped in some purple paint. So yeah, here is his face mold. Good old G1 looking seeker. And again, recently in the last couple years of Transformers, Studio Series is definitely a example of this, but War for Cybertron has its moments too. I love all the little molded in details here on this figure. All the, I mean, just look, it's really good looking. It really adds to the texture of the figure. Definitely looks very robotic, more than just the body already gives that feeling. So that all just these little details, I think it's just super cool. I love it. So yeah, overall, good looking robot mode. He is maybe sometimes a little difficult to get into a standing pose just because of the way his feet are designed. So it's like, okay, maybe one leg is longer than the other. It kind of feels like sometimes. So here's a little 360. I really like the quote unquote backpack here. It's not awful. It's actually, I mean, basically his backpack just consists of the wings, and then there's the little cockpit. I'm not really sure why a alien jet needs a cockpit when the jet itself transforms into the alien in question, but oh well, that's one of those things. It real cool. It looks cool. And then here's the thrusters pinned to the back. So yeah, overall looks super cool, but he is not complete yet because we can give him his little Minicon partners here. I will only really show the transformation for one of these guys because they are exactly the same. So pretty simple here. Just want to take that back part and flip it up. These feet will peg into each other like so, and then on this hinge we can use that to swivel it up, and maybe if it wants to there, plug in, and then we can reach out those feet. And then the arms will just boom and boom. And then we can take one of these effects parts, put it on here, plug it into his hand, and then there he has a little weapon. And then just so that way we have kind of the full set represented here, we'll have the other guy sticking in his robot mode. So yeah, pretty cool. I really like that this set does come with a couple little extra features. It does bump the price up to 40 bucks, but I mean, it's not awful because it is kind of a discount. It's like, usually he would be 30, and then each of these guys would be, I think, somewhere closest to $10 a piece. So putting two of them in one pack and charging 40 for it is not an awful deal. And, you know, there's some extra, and you get some extra play features in there because of that. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, we'll go ahead and move on to some size comparisons. So, here he is with his Comrade in Arms Barricade, and of course you do get another one of these that's supposed to go with that guy, but because these guys are soldiers, I'll just go ahead and plug that in there. And of course, you know, it works with other bots because the effects parts are compatible with all of the figures from the Siege and Earthrise lines. So, little action shot going there. So, pretty cool. Obviously, Barricade much shorter than his Voyager buddy here, being a deluxe figure himself. But as I was saying earlier with the, sorry for the camera movement, as I was saying earlier with the vehicle modes and the design and everything, they look good together. They definitely both look like, you know, they're Decepticons in the same army on the same planet, even though they look totally different from one another otherwise, because, you know, one's a jet, one's a car. And, you know, you've got the kibble parts there speaking for that. But, I mean, the paint scheme really helps, you know, make it look like they're part of the same army. You know, they're on the same side, and you can tell that more than just the, where is HOTLINK's Decepticon symbols? There we go. Very small there. And, you know, you know, more than just the symbol that they both share. It's like they do look like they're on the same team here. So, that's pretty cool. We'll go ahead and move Barricade off to the side and bring in the original inspiration for this mold, G1 Starscream from the 1980s, of course reissued in 2018. So yeah, you can see the design inspiration here. Of course, this is a little, you know, this is a little more based on the original cartoon rather than the original toy, because the original cartoon took several liberties from the toys, even more than the comics did to a certain degree. So yeah, so that's oh, I'm a dummy. I did not put Starscream's null rays back on him. That is a what's a seeker without his null rays? That is a little embarrassing, but you know, so yeah, there is. I thought he looked a little odd. I thought there was something off about him. It's like that's because he was lacking his weaponry. So yeah, there is Starscream, a much shorter toy than his more modern counterpart, but it's still cool to see them together. Of course, the Starscream has the Megatron in his pistol mode, and so we'll use that as a segue to bring in said leader of the Decepticons. So here is Megatron. So you know, this is Megatron with one of his random minions, HOTLINK, but if for a moment we can close our eyes and pretend that this, well, I suppose you don't want to close your eyes in this instance because you're watching a video, but you get the idea. We can pretend that if this were, you know, Starscream, then, you know, Megatron would be about a head taller than his second in command. So Megatron is a little taller than the Seekers, which makes sense because you want your leader to be one of the larger bots. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and move him off to the side, and that's pretty much it for the figure. I think he's really cool. I mean, this set was sort of kind of an impulse buy for me. I wasn't necessarily ever planning to pick up HOTLINK just because, you know, I like I said earlier, I knew he was coming out, and with the release of all these War for Cybertron tie-in Netflix toys. But I wasn't necessarily planning on picking him up. But then I was at Walmart, you know, doing regular grocery run with my folks, and then I found him and Studio Series Blitzwing. So, and I had the cash on me to get both of them. I kind of went, it'd be kind of cool to get, you know, kind of a more modern movie style Seeker, and then more of a classic, you know, Cybertronian style Seeker. Yeah, so the impulse buy won out. So I ended up picking him up, and after messing around with the mold, I certainly don't regret it. I think it's a really cool mold. I kind of wish I gave it more of a shot earlier, and maybe not picked up Starscream because I have enough Starscreams, but maybe picked up Thundercracker or something, just, you know, to have a little, but you know, to maybe for HOTLINK to be my to be my Seeker figure for War for Cybertron. It's like, not bad. And it's cool to have something that's like, yeah, it's the same mold, but it's cool to have a Seeker that's, you know, another character that's not, you know, the traditional three, that's Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker. Even if he does, you know, share a paint scheme that is eerily similar to Skywarp. I mean, when the toys first released and I didn't see the name, I thought it was Skywarp. So, Oh well. So yeah, comes with 2 minicons, comes with HOTLINK, and it's it's not a bad deal. And also, I mean, you can, if you want to, have him hold his null ray. I mean, that's kind of not how that is supposed to work, if you ask me, because we've never seen that happen. And you know what? I can't even really get it into his hand to begin with. Come on, darn you. I know you can actually do it. I know it's weird, but there we go. Okay, so yeah, you can also have him hold his null ray if you so desire, but I'm not sure why you would want to, because that's not necessarily how the Seekers operate. They always just have them plugged into their arms. That's how it's worked since 1984. So why, if it ain't broke, don't break it. So, or if it ain't, well, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I suppose is the expression. So yeah, that's HOTLINK. I'd recommend him. I think he's kind of cool. It's a nice little added bonus package, and it's a figure, and it's a character that, you know, we don't necessarily see all the time, even if it is a familiar mold. So yeah, that'll be it for this review. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.